Today's spotlight, we're going to be focusing on the G20, on the 10th G20, which will be held, inshallah, in Turkey. A group of 20 G20, the group of 20, also known as, of course, their 20 or the G20, is an international forum for the governmental and central bank governors from 20 major economies. The members include 19 individual countries: Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Canada, China, France, Germany, India, Indonesia, Italy, Japan, South Korea, Mexico, Russia, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, Turkey, the United Kingdom, and the United States. Along, of course, with the European Union. The G20 was founded back in 1999 with the aim of studying, reviewing, and promoting high-level discussion of policy issues. Portraying the promotion of the international financial stability, it seeks to address issues that go beyond the responsibilities of anyone or any organization collectively. The G20 economics account for around 85% of the gross world products, GWP 80% of world trade, or if excluding EU intra-trade 75% and 2/3 of the world's population. The G20 heads of government or heads of state have productively confront at summits since their internal meeting back in 2008. The group also hosts a separate meeting of finance ministers and central bank governors, with the G20 growing in statutory affairs. Its inaugural leaders summit back in 2008, its leaders announced on 25 September 2009 that the group would replace the G8 as the main economic council of wealthy nations. Since its inception, the G20 members' policies have been criticized by numerous intellectuals, and its summit have been a focus for major, of course, protests by anti-globalist nationalists and others. Today, of course, we have with us three, of course, esteemed guests to discuss this topic. Dr. Abdurrahman Zahyan, a political analyst. Welcome to the show. Honored to have you, Doctor.
Thank you very much. I'm very pleased to be here.
Thank you, Doctor. And Dr. Haytham Diab, lead consultant and development advisor. Thank you so much. Welcome to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you.
Also from Paris, we're going to be having with us live Dr. Mohamed Elalfy, political and economical expert. Welcome to the show, Dr. Mohamed. Happy to have you.
Thank you very much. My pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. Let me start with you, Dr. Abdurrahman. Let us speak also, of course, about the history of G20. How did it start? How did it become, of course, stable or established, actually, since its beginning back in 1999?
Well, the G20 as an organization and as a summit, it has transformed through several steps. First, it was called the G20, and then it was suppressed by G33, and then the G7, and now we have back to G20. The very idea of the G20 was introduced in the finance ministerial meetings of the G7, and it was brought up by the finance minister of Germany, and then took up by the finance minister or the Treasury Department Secretary of the United States. And afterwards, it was officially adopted and inaugurated in 1999. That is basically the same year. And the meetings of the ministerial teams were meeting almost every year from 1999 until 2008. And that's when the head of states started gathering together in one meeting. That is really giving the support for this organization. And then the meetings continued until the years 2011, and the nature of the meeting, or the duration, it was annual, semi-annual, almost twice a year. And from 2011 it started. The head of states are meeting annually, while the ministerial levels are continuing to meet every year. The objective of this organization is to govern and control the global economy through several processes aiming at a stable world economy, and that's only can be done by coordination between what's called the industrialized developed world and the developing world. So now, when you see the composition of the group, you find almost a representation of the both sides of the world, in order to discuss how to have a steady and a stable economy. The North is doing the manufacturing, and the South providing the raw material. So they need each other. So basically, this is the basic principles of the inception of the G20.
Interesting, very interesting, Doctor. Let me move on to you, of course, Dr. Haytham Diab. When speaking about the G20, of course, Dr. Jahan just described, of course, how did it start and what is its aim? Who does it address? Let me also ask you, of course, I mean, most of these countries in the G20, on papers, they have stable, of course, economy or semi-stable economy, of course, compared to what we're seeing, of course, in the world, especially, of course, what's going on in the world. How can other also countries, of course, let me say, benefit from the G20, especially that most of the countries who are not part or members of the G20 are facing economic issues, not crises, if I may say.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, I will take the lead from Dr. Abdurrahman and from yourself when you said semi-stable economy. Well, actually, the whole global economy, it's unstable now. When we discuss the current situation globally about let's say the currency exchange fluctuation, currency change uncertainty, the situation in the futuristic economy is we have a lot of challenges, politically as well. We have a lot of challenges. So we can say most of the countries facing financial challenges, not stable. So it's most of it, it's semi-stable, not stable.
Including the leading country, of course, the leading economy country, the US?
Yes, indeed. And we all see, we can see the current situation in China. If you notice the exchange rate in China, you will find that it's devaluated in the last year by maybe 25%, which is actually create a lot of instability global-wise or internationally. So we can note that in the near future we will continue in this uncertainty situation until we reform a global monetary system that actually protect the big countries and protect also the developed countries as well.
Doctor, from your point of view, what do you think, of course, on the G20 should focus on? As you mentioned, of course, the whole world is facing an unstable global economy in the G20, of course, and what do you think they should focus on, especially some of these aims to help stabilize the economy in the future?
Well, actually, they have a great initiatives this year. They are focusing on, they create, let's say, many groups in order to change this political, or let's say this economical challenges to success pillars.
Okay.
So they have Business 20, they have Civil Society 20, C20. They actually also they initiate the Labor 20. They initiate the Think 20 and Youth 20. These 5 groups or 5 initiatives will actually put the things on the way of developing and the way of reforming domestically for all of the countries member of G20 the development and to enhance their economy in the short term and in the medium term as well.
on the short term.
Yeah.
Very well said. Let me go to Paris, Dr. Mohamed Elalfy, political and economic expert. First of all, Doctor, you heard what our esteemed guests were saying. Dr. Abdurrahman started, of course, by giving an introduction about the G20 and its historical, of course, events. Dr. Haytham also commented on that and added also that the global economy in general is unstable. I asked him, of course, about how can some countries also, of course, outside of the G20 benefit from this. Of course, he gave me the three, of course, points which would probably help. Let me ask you from your point of view, what do you think, of course, the G20 major topics would probably be discussed in Turkey?
Actually, this summit will be held on 16 and 17 November, which is one of the most important summit, and they are facing too much troubles, and they have many files they have to discuss, especially the international financial crisis and actually the unemployment all over the world, and the slowing and in the growth of the American and the Chinese economy. And also they are facing a problem regarding the illegal immigrants, immigration and the immigrants and the refugees from many countries, not and they have to discuss also important file regarding the instability in MENA region. Actually, they must find the solutions for many files, and the importance of the presence of His Majesty King Salman bin Abdulaziz in this summit. Actually, he's carrying a big responsibility to explain the viewpoints, not of Saudi Arabia only, but on behalf of the other Arab countries, agree with the Saudi strategies regarding to fight against terrorism, to achieve security, to achieve development in this area, and we trust that the Saudi king will can achieve good results in this discussions with the world leaders in many files.
Let me ask you, Doctor, of course, Abdurrahman, does, of course, based on what, of course, Dr. Mohamed was saying, do international organizations participate in G20?
Of course. And they are, as a matter of fact, integral part of the composition of the summit. And they are aware of the importance of their participation. There is almost 12 organizations and institutions are permanently invited to this summit. You have the World Bank, you have the World Monetary Fund, you have the United Nations, the World Labor Organization, and other African and Asian organizations are always represented here. And almost, I would say, the G Summit is not an exclusive a club for specific countries, but almost all countries of the world are engaged in the issues that are discussed by this summit or any future summit, because there are permanent guests there. Almost 12 countries who are invited to the summit, and each host country is allowed to invite 1 to 2 countries. And there is always a rotation for countries from almost every continent to be there. They are aware of the dangers of leaving countries with no sufficient economic and social attention. And you'll find almost every summit has a particular theme that is addresses world's those issues together.
What do you think would be the theme in this summit? To be exact?
Well, I would say the theme of the previous themes, they were discussing the current challenges that are faced by the summit itself. I would just guess that the issues that will be discussed could be related to the decline of oil prices and their impacts and consequences on producing and non-producing countries, and its effect on the economic stability and growth. I would say the migration and immigrations of the Syrian refugees and also the illegal immigrations, probably human trafficking.
The refugee cases, probably.
Yeah, sure.
Appreciate it. Very well said, Dr. Abdurrahman. Of course, with that said, let's take a short report. Give you also, of course, a small brief about an introduction about the G20. After that, we're going to be right back with our esteemed guests, so stay tuned.
Group of 20. The Group of 20 is the premier forum for its members' international economic cooperation and decision-making. Its membership comprises 19 countries plus the European Union. Each Group of 20 president invites several guest countries each year. Group of 20 leaders meet annually. In addition, finance ministers and central bank governors meet regularly during the year to discuss ways to strengthen the global economy, reform international financial institutions, improve financial regulation, and implement the key economic reforms that are needed in each member economy. Underpinning these meetings is a year-long program of meetings among senior officials and of working groups coordinating policy on specific issues. The Group of 20 started in 1999 as a meeting of finance ministers and central bank governors in the aftermath of the Asian financial crisis. In 2008, the first Group of 20 Leaders Summit was held, and the group played a key role in responding to the global financial crisis. Its decisive and coordinated actions boosted consumer and business confidence and supported the first stages of economic recovery. Group of 20 leaders have met 9 times since 2008.
And welcome back, dear viewers, to Spotlight. Topic today is the group of G20, of course, which is going to be held, inshallah, in Turkey in a couple of days later. Back to you, of course. I'm Dr. Haytham. Dr. Abdurrahman, of course, gave us a small brief also about some points and facts about the G20. I asked also about the theme. What do you think, from your point of view, the theme of the G20 would be or could be this year? Yes,
as declared from the G20 high level, they declared actually that together for inclusive growth. This is the theme. By built in, let's say, power of youth and equal opportunities for women, as well as by innovative entrepreneurship. So they are the main pillar of the success of this G20. They are focusing. This is very essential actually for the G20 as well as the non-members as well. So I think it will be a very fruitful discussion. It will be provide a very positive impact for the economy of the members and the members as well.
You mentioned 3, of course, initiatives.
Yeah.
Which do you think major countries probably require these 3 initiatives that would help them, of course, to develop their economy?
Yeah, the power of youth.
The power of youth.
Yes, the power of youth. It's nowadays is the only way to absorb this. Let's say the unemployment problems we face in all countries. in MENA region. So I think it will be the first and the most important initiative the G20 need to focus on.
Let me ask you, do you think unemployment will be discussed?
Yes,
do you think,
as declared.
Of course, the effect of the economy affected also the employment part?
The unemployment actually it's the symptom, but how to absorb this many numbers of millions on yearly basis graduated and from different educational dimensions in order to use this youth in a very positive manner to build in countries.
Very well said. Dr. Abdurrahman, Saudi Arabia is the only, of course, Arab country in the G20. Of course, from your point of view, how do you think does this also help in balancing the world supporting measure and its role also, of course, in supporting the Arab world and the economic part in Pacific?
Well, this goes to the selection standards of countries to be included and the G20. So the primary standard is the GDP of each country, whether it is high. It has to do with the gross domestic product. When we mentioned about the group 33, those 33 were the highest GDP and the less amongst all these countries. So they were included in the what's so-called the G33, which was suppressed or replaced by the G7 and then now G20. So selecting Saudi Arabia was based on the higher GDP amongst all the Middle Eastern nations, and also it serves the presence of Saudi Arabia in the summits also serves as a representative of the Middle Eastern country. And all in all, this is an indicative that the economy of Saudi Arabia is very strong. Its prospect is forthcoming, and there is a role of Saudi Arabia, a big role of Saudi Arabia in the stability of world economy.
Very well said. Moving on, of course, to my guest from Paris, Dr. Mohamed. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Excellent. Dr. Let me ask you, of course, about we're speaking about the theme also of what could it be in the next, of course, summit held in Turkey. The last one was held in Brisbane back in 2014. The theme was mostly took action to enhance fairness of the international tax system. Of course, how would this discussion secure countries' revenue base? Do you think, from your point of view?
Can you repeat the last part of the question, please?
Okay. In the last G20 that was held in Brisbane, 2014, took action to enhance the fairness of the international tax system. How would this discussion secure countries' also revenue base? Secure the country's revenue base.
Yeah. Regarding the international system in this regard, of course, there is many advices from the International Bank and the IMF, but actually, if we will talk, we'll give an example about the European countries. They can't find another way to finance the social services they are providing to them citizens. So what they have to do? For example, in France now, they increase the tax, and in America the same, and in Germany the same. For this reason, we are facing a slowing in growth in most economics, and many countries don't like to change the system because they don't have solutions actually, and sometimes you feel that all or most of the experts in charge they have nothing to do they have no solutions or new ideas to provide to them countries. Actually, or even for the international economy, that is only they are given advices for other countries, but for them they can't find solutions.
Dr. Haytham, let me come to you also, of course, at the point that one of the issues that I think would be discussed is probably that now we're facing capacity when it comes into tourism also. It's very, of course, smart business. So many countries also have a big percentage of their income depends on tourism. How important do you think is this topic also, of course, when we talk about the G20?
This is a very important topic nowadays because of, you see, the challenges for the old countries in this sector. This sector absorb many unemployment, absorb many educated and non-educated youth. So that's why the countries nowadays spend a lot of investment in order to promote, in order to build the infrastructure for this sector, in order to secure the tourists and give many programs in MENA region. So I think G20, they have to discuss the instability, first of all, in order to secure the environment for the tourist, so that he can enjoy his place, in order to spend his time in a peaceful way. So I think this is what will happen. They have to address these challenges first of all before they go for the touristic issue. The infrastructure is there.
Again, of course, what do you think is the main challenges that they're facing?
The main challenges is the security issue. They have to address this security issue on the national level, yeah, and the macro level as well. Yeah.
I think also, of course, on part of the members of G20, of course, including the European nations, would help also, of course, to address the issues that we're facing, especially in the, let me say, in the Middle East.
Yeah, this is the as you see that most of countries now is pushing pushing for to secure the stability domestically. Many agreements with between bilateral agreement actually between members and non-members in order to enhance the cooperation between governments as well as also the organizations, so that they secure the environment, the positive environment, to repump the investment in this critical sector.
Many of the countries also, of course, in the G20 are one of the leading nations when it comes to, of course, their economy. The US, for example, UK, China has a strong economy, of course, along with India.
Yeah.
What do you think is these countries' roles, of course, towards the crisis when it comes to, of course, as you mentioned, the security part?
There has to an agreement between government, so that all countries supporting the global peace. The global peace and the international peace is the key word. Before you secure the peace for the country and secure the political stability, you cannot actually create this expected growth. So I think there will be a lot of discussion regarding this issue before they go for how to improve and promote the touristic between the members, G20 members.
Dr. Abdurrahman, of course, Saudi Arabia's role has recently been recognized by the International Monetary, being one of the 3 best economic, of course, countries in the G20. From your point of view, of course, can it be said that the Kingdom, of course, is one of the leading nations in carrying out the financial decision of this group? Can we say that?
Oh, well, it is part of the is a very important and vital member of those who are in the decision-making process. You cannot ignore a country such as Saudi Arabia, who has a huge oil reserve that would last for decades, no matter what the amount of the monetary or financial though this oil generate, because you always have a reserve. That is your that's your stock right there. So you don't have to worry about any shake-up of the Saudi economy, and it will remain for a long time as an integral part of the decision-making process and the G summit for a long time.
Dr. Mohamed Elalfy
Yes.
From Paris. Let me ask you, of course, about the currency. We're facing issues when it comes into, of course, currencies, if I could say. Do you think it will be addressed in the summit? And how should
Would
it
you
be
please
addressed?
repeat again? Excuse me.
The currency issue. Would it be addressed in the summit?
As a currency, you mean?
Yes, the currency, exactly.
Yes. Regarding the recent situation and the international economy, of course, there's a big shortage in many sectors in this field, especially if we will talk about US dollar and European euros. So if they will discuss who will surrender for the other part. Now, for example, America would like to continue leading the financial situation all over the world. There is a big competition in this regard, and China will be in the presence to for the next 2 or 3 years to put the Chinese yuan in one of the main currencies in this world. So there is a big competition in this regard, but I think is United States still controlling the situation, but not for a long time. And also, if they would like to continue as before, they have to achieve American growth inside America, to give the trust to the investors and to the financial sectors to return back to the market. But actually, there is now the competition is very hard between Europe and America and China.
Exactly.
But finally, we don't know what is the results. But the result is giving a bad feedback, not inside these markets, but inside regions like Africa and the Middle East.
We're always optimistic, hopefully, Doctor. Let's be optimistic about the future. Dr. Haytham, you had a good comment, of course. But I spoke to you before we went live.
Yes, excuse me. There is an important point.
Go ahead.
Regarding the unemployment, the International Labour Organization announces that we need every year between 45 to 50 million jobs every year for the next 10 years.
Okay.
With this difficult situation, I think it's impossible to achieve it.
Well, let's say hopefully, of course. But Dr. Haytham also mentioned that one of the main issues will be the youth, and I think this also comes into the unemployment case. Yes. Dr. Haytham, we spoke about this topic in Pacific before we went live.
Yes.
You had also some good comments. Tell us about it.
Frankly speaking, I think, in my opinion, the only solution is linking between the currency and the bundle of currencies, not actually between a single currency to the domestic currency for each country. So many experts actually discussed this issue before, and they advise and give a recommendation to the real value of the national currency should be evaluated based on a bundle of currencies. I think this is, I do actually recommend the same, and I think we'll see real decisions during this summit.
Hopefully we will, of course. With that said, Dr. Haytham, let's take a short report, dear viewers. The report will be about each, of course, a small brief about the members of the G20, and they're going to be right back, so stay tuned.
Group of 20 members. The Group of 20 membership comprises a mix of the world's largest advanced and emerging economies, representing about 2/3 of the world's population, 85% of global gross domestic product, and over 75% of global trade. The members of the Group of 20 are Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Canada, China, France, Germany, India, Indonesia, Italy, Japan, Republic of Korea, Mexico, Russia, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, Turkey, and the United Kingdom, United States, and European Union. The Group of 20 presidency rotates annually according to a system that ensures the regional balance over time. Reflecting its nature as an informal political forum, the Group of 20 doesn't have a permanent secretariat. Instead, the Group of 20 president is responsible for bringing together the Group of 20 agenda in consultation with other members and response to developments in the global economy. To ensure continuity, the presidency is supported by a troika made up of the current, immediate past, and next host countries. During Turkey's presidency, the members of the Group of 20 troika are Turkey, Australia, and China. Previous hosts of the Group of 20 Leaders Summit were the United States in 2008 and 2009, United Kingdom 2009, Canada 2010, Republic of Korea 2010, France 2011, Mexico 2012, Russia 2013, and Australia 2014.
And welcome back, dear viewers, to Spotlight. Still, of course, the topic is the G20. We're speaking about with our esteemed guests, Dr. Mohamed Elalfy, Dr. Haytham Diab, and Dr. Ali Al-Alfi, also joining us from Paris. Back to you, doctors. Of course, anyone can comment on this. We spoke also about one of the main goals of course, the G20. What is it going to address exactly? We also highlighted some points when it comes into the economy part, the currency part, and also, of course, on the, let me say, the social part or the cultural part, the issues that we're facing, of course, around the world when it comes into, of course, the refugee crisis as well, tourism crisis. Dr. Haytham also mentioned that we have a global economy issue. I'm not going to say a crisis, but issue at least. What do you think from these points also, we should start with unemployment mentioned and also mentioned by Dr. Ali Diab. Youth also is one of the points I'm going to highlight. What do you think one of these points will be considered as a major point that should definitely, an action should be taken on it?
From what I sense and gather from the previous meetings and summits and that has been taking place, there are two aspects, the social aspects and the economic aspect.
Okay.
The social aspect is always there and present, and it appears that the G20 is cognizant of the needs of the entire world, specifically the third world countries. Several themes since 2006 were addressing basically third world issues. They're talking about sustainable prosperity. They are talking about sustainable growth. They are talking about the combating poverty. And those are exclusively third world issues. And they will always be addressed by present or future summits. That's one thing. With respect to the economic aspect, what I'm really aware of, and possibly the G Summit creators, they were aware that the world economy is heading toward very serious challenges. The status quo that has been maintained for decades and dominated together by the European economies, West European economies, and the United States is really seriously challenged, specifically the U.S. It is always stressing the dollar as the main international currency for trade and exchange and so forth. And now China just